Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy C Will back to you with another video. We got a busy day today. We have the NVIDIA keynote that's going to be at 9:30 tonight. Today is January the 6th. Eastern Standard Time is going to be at 9:30. Pacific Standard Time it's going to be at 6:30. So just keep that in mind. But we actually, AMD earlier today did their keynote, and it was a snooze fest. A lot of people, I've been watching a lot of videos and stuff like recently. Can't do this full time just yet, but yeah, there was a lot that was going on. But I actually had a chance to be able to listen to it in the background. And I was like, what? So y'all didn't announce any GPUs, but you put it in the slides? Like, what the hell is going on with that? Anyways, so real quick, we actually just going to go through the actual the slides that they have on their website. So if you actually want to just follow along with me in these slides, I'm going to hit some of the actual hot spots and talk about some of the key stuff. And then we'll get prepared for the actual NVIDIA keynote that we're going to be doing live here on the channel. And so definitely make sure that you hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you receive all my notifications. And let's jump through this real quick. So of course, they talked about the 9800X3d, which has already been released. It's like one of the best gaming CPUs that you could be able to get on the market right now. 8 cores, 16 threads, has all the Vcache and all that good stuff. So they talked a little bit about that. If we scroll down here, they also talked about releasing the 9950X3d. Now, they did not spend a whole lot of time talking about this chip. And we're going to go through some of the slides, but it was kind of weird because they didn't give you the architecture breakdown. They just kind of glossed over a lot of stuff. They didn't hone in on certain things. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But anyways, if you're not familiar with this chip, it has 16 cores, which is phenomenal, by the way. But one of the actual cores, I believe, not cores, but one of the is 2 CCDs. So, and I don't know if they actually have a slide in here that shows both of the CCDs. Yeah, it does. So here we go. So a part of the, well, they don't show it right here. So here we go. So a part of the actual breakdown. So you have one CCD here, one CCD here, and one of the, so 8 cores, and one of the 8 cores has the actual Vcache on it, and the other one doesn't. They didn't really talk about that, which is, I'm not going to say it's misleading, but it's one of those things where it's like, to the person that really doesn't maybe know a whole lot about these chips, you would think that, oh, the whole thing has Vcache. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So anywho, let's go back up here. One of the actual chips boosts up to 5.7 gigahertz. Okay. So that's up to. So again, we didn't get a whole lot of information about this, but if we scroll down here, they talked about the difference in performance between previous generation, the 7950X3d, and I actually have a 7950X, not the 3D, because that particular chip had a lot of issues when it comes to like core parking and a lot of stuff that did get resolved over the actual years, but it was still iffy. And I'm still iffy about this one until we could get some independent testing. But it says that on average, the 9950X3d is 8% faster than the 7950X3d, and 8%, I mean, it's not a whole lot, when it comes to Black Myth Wukong. And this is at 1080p. Black Myth Wukong, 1%. Cyberpunk, 2%. Black Ops, 5%. The biggest that we saw was Counter-Strike 2. So if you play Counter-Strike 2, okay, great, you get you a big boost. But a lot of the, Hogwarts Legacy, which is a CPU demanding game, 20%. But this is all at 1080p. So if we were talking about if you're going to see a huge difference at 1440p and 4K, probably not. So if you have a 7800X3D, which I do, do I plan on upgrading? Absolutely, because I definitely want to be able to push my 4090, and obviously, they're going to talk about the 5090 and stuff like that that's going to be coming out later on today. But moving forward, then now it talks about the difference between a 285K, which is Intel Core Ultra 9, and averaging about 20. Now, it says averaging about 20%, grain of salt. But nobody's buying the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. I'm still rocking my 14900K, which after the updates to the microcodes and the BIOS and stuff like that, it works fine. I don't have any issues with it at all. So this 285K, nobody's buying that. The 14900K is actually faster than this. But this is what they decided to do their testing up against. And so, yeah, okay. Whatever on that one. But again, this is also testing at 1080p. A lot of people are getting away from 1080p, so I definitely want to see what the differences are with 1440p and 4K. Myself, I game at 4K, and sometimes I game on my ultra wide, which is 3440 by 1440p. So it's close to the 1440p. So it's a little bit more CPU demanding than it is for 4K. But then it also talks about, let's see, the world's best 16-core processor for content creation. Now, I'm not going to really get too deep into this right now, but if you're into content creation like I am, a lot of people are not. But if you deal with DaVinci Resolve and Photoshop and stuff like that, which I use that stuff all the time, obviously, you can see a 13% on average increase with those. And then when it comes to, this is even more content creation stuff, Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, stuff like that, there's still a 10% increase. And so, yeah. So, this is even more apps. So let me just go back up just to see what's the difference. You got DaVinci Resolve, the Puget benchmark, and then, okay, yeah. So this just continues into Cinebench, Blender. If this stuff is important to you, okay, great. But it's still just showing the difference between the 285K and the 9950X3d. It doesn't say when this is going to be released. I've heard that they're talking about within the next few months. Like what? Like what is that? See, available March 2025. So they didn't give any price, no pricing or nothing. It's probably going to be about $800, maybe $600 for the 9900X3d. The 9800X3d retails for $480. So I don't know. And then they started to go into a lot of the mobile stuff, which, if you want to take a look at that stuff, you can. I'm not really into the mobile stuff, but you could take a look at that type of stuff. They also talked about a lot of the AI, boring, their pro market and all that different type of stuff. So yeah. So if you're into that type of stuff, okay, great. Another thing I wanted to actually scroll down to that was a little bit more interesting. They did hit on the GPUs just a little bit, and I'm trying to find the. Oh, I don't have that slide. Okay, so they didn't even put it in here in the deck. Okay, that is very interesting that they didn't do that. So let's go find it, and at least we could be. Here we go. All right, so if we go to where is it? Here we go. Definitely check out Gamer Nexus video. But I just want to show you a couple of things. So they're saying, okay, the RX 9070 XT and then the RX 9070. All right. So obviously, the naming scheme is crazy because you went from like 7800, 7900, and then you jump to nines, and they said they was trying to match up with the actual CPUs and the naming. Crazy. And then it says available Q1. Okay. That's, we still don't, no pricing, none of this stuff. So I'm like, okay, are you waiting on NVIDIA? If you're always going to be running behind NVIDIA and you can't just take the lead yourself, then what are you doing? Like you're in business, man. You don't always have to go off of what your competitor is doing. If you should have enough market research right now to know what the people want. The Intel Arc B580 was selling for $249. And the thing was doing game busters. So what? $249? Sell your lowest car for, I don't know, $350. You know what I'm saying? Or, the 9070, whatever. So they're saying Q1 2025. If you fast forward a little bit here, because there was no specs or anything that was given on it. They're talking about RDNA4, performance, immersion, supercharged with AI. You know, this whole AI thing is driving me nuts, by the way. And they're giving all these different type of things that don't mean a hill of beans because nobody explained anything about what's new and all that good stuff. There's only things about leaks. If we fast forward a little bit here, there will be bringing out FSR 4. So that's going to be pretty cool. You know, frame generation, low latency with the AMD anti-lag 2, which they had some initial issues with that on anti-lag. I think it was anti-lag plus. The first version of that, they had issues with Counter-Strike and causing people to get banned out of the system because it was a long story about that. Fast forward a little bit here. This is something key that I want to take a look at. So here, where they kind of give you a branding, where they talk about the actual naming scheme. But if you look, it also shows where it's kind of lined up with the RX 7900XT. Then it shows the 9070 series, 9060 series. But if you see how it's on the actual chart, it really looks like, okay, hey, from a performance standpoint, it's going to the 9070 XT is going to be equivalent to a 4070 Ti. Now I have a 4070 Ti Super, and that car is crazy. Like, it's amazing. I mean, I had got an open box, and I still may do some gameplay videos and stuff on that, just so you could be able to see what it does right now. Even though we have new car stuff that's coming out, we still have to see if they're going to be worth it. But the 4070 Ti Super was a pretty good car. But it looks like it's lining up with that. So this is still kind of like the mid-range competition that we're looking at, but that's neither here nor there. So, you know, we have to wait a little bit longer to see what the pricing is going to be like versus the actual performance and stuff that we're going to be able to get from it. And you let me know down in the comments whether or not you want to see me pick up this card, to test it out amongst the actual 50 series stuff. So definitely let me know what you think down in the comments below. I definitely just want to go over this quick information and just to show you, say, hey, there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of leaks. It's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. And we still don't have any concrete information on, again, the pricing and the exact date that these will be released. But I definitely, I'm still eyeing the 9950X3d. So hopefully we'll see. And whether or not I'll choose that over the 9800X3d. So we'll see. Definitely come back. Make sure that you come back at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time so we could take a look at the NVIDIA Keynote live. See y'all in the next video. Peace.